Hey everyone, welcome to the Darksliders podcast with Doug and Brad.
Hi.
That was really slow today.
I'm really tired.
Glad you're excited for this. We haven't done this in like 2 weeks, and you're so
No.
pumped.
No, we did one last week. We did the top. Oh, normal episodes. No, we definitely haven't done a normal episode in a while.
Yeah, so this will be a normal episode. So we'll actually go back to talking about some games we've been playing instead of talking about games we played decades ago.
Yeah, that was still fun though.
Oh yeah, for sure. So if you want to, you can check it out. Our past couple episodes have been about our 100 favorite games ever. There's lists on our website. We thought it was really fun just to kind of come up with our lists of what we think great games are, what makes a favorite game to us. So that was a lot of fun. But we'll get into our normal stuff here.
Hmm.
So I'm actually really curious about this because you haven't told me anything about this, and I know you
No,
played through the whole thing.
I did
You
not play.
rented it
Actually,
until
I did not
dawn.
play through the whole thing. I played.
Oh, well, why haven't you played through the whole thing?
I didn't. I rented it for like one night, and then I had a late. It's just a long story. That was not. It's just I rented it for Family Video. It was costing me too much to rent it, and I found out my local library had it, so I'm just waiting for my local library to get it in, so then I can re-rent it, but this time for free and get it for 5 days instead of 2. Anyway, I
Oh
played
my
like five
gosh.
hours.
Anyway, so you played probably what, 5 hours, probably what, half of Until Dawn?
No, it's a pretty. I don't. I don't felt. I actually kind of is. I would say. Oh yeah, sorry. Did we say we were actually talking about Until Dawn?
I don't know, but you mumbled the hell out of whatever you were about to say there a second ago.
Yeah, no. Okay. So for Halloween, it was actually kind of nice. For Halloween night, I decided to rent Until Dawn just because I had heard. Actually, I thankfully did not hear a lot about this game. I just heard it was pretty good. I guess the best way to start this game, I think last episode you were trying to like you were wondering like, oh, I think I asked you what do you think this game is, and you said something along the lines of, oh, I bet it's like one of those like books you read as a kid that like choose your own adventure
Oh
stories.
yeah, the choose your own adventure books.
It is that. It is exactly that, which is so cool.
Like, are there
um,
that many paths down this though? I mean, I this is another game that I haven't looked into at all. I'm really curious to play, but I don't want to spoil anything, and I feel like just randomly Googling things is a great way to spoil stuff.
yeah, like I'm not. I won't go into too many. I won't go into any spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers actually. I'll try to avoid it if all possible. Um, but you're given choices like a lot, and the choices are actually kind of unique. Because at the beginning you really don't know what they'll influence later in the game, and a lot of them are just sort of like you have these. I don't know. I'll say like 6 characters, and you can sort of choose how they interact with each other. Um, Sometimes they'll get into fights, and you can decide whether to like escalate the fight or kind of diffuse the fight. A lot of them, some of them have like are ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends of each other, and the new boyfriend's in. So there's like that kind of weird dynamic. It's actually it's kind of cool. It's like this sort of like inter teen drama stuff, um,
Yeah.
which is kind of silly and kind of dumb. But it's actually a really good way to set up the characters. The one thing I really liked about this game, like when you start the game, you have these 6. It starts like a horror movie. You have these 6 dumb teenagers who are like they're drunks and they're kind of mean to each other. And I think the game did a really really good job for the time I played. Um, they do a really good job of like when the game starts, you don't like these characters like at all. They're just like, oh, I can't wait to start killing off these teens. They're so dumb. They're partying, they're drinking, they're jerks to each
How
other.
dare they?
Yeah, yeah, but it's like it's kind of cool though because you're like, okay, I'm getting it. This is like a normal horror game, but it's really cool as the game goes along. I don't know what they do. Maybe it's just the dialogue or how the story kind of plays out. You really want these characters to live. Like they kind of turn out to be. I mean, they're sort of like jerks to each other, but they actually are like really good people. They're not your normal just like teen slasher kind of jerks. They end up being it's like well they're kind of jerks to each other, but sometimes people can just be jerks to each other, and you're actually kind of a good person when it comes down to like when people start dying. Like what do you do? Um,
So, do you actually play as one of these characters, or are you kind of more of like that, like pulled back, like controlling the story figure, like you would be in a choose your own adventure book?
no, you actually directly control all the characters. Like it switches between them depending on what the story
Oh,
is
that's
going on.
cool.
Yeah, so it's
Okay,
kind of
that's kind of cool.
it actually plays actually if you want to break it down like really simply, it plays like Heavy Rain.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, where you're going back and forth between the. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
but this game is actually kind of cool. There's like so many. I was only in the first 10 hours, and I'd say I had like one person die on me. And actually, all the characters can live by the end if you're good. I don't know how it's supposed to. So there's some characters like I don't even know how I was supposed to save them. Um, Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, like all the choices they gave. There's like plenty of times when I was playing the game, I wasn't sure what choice to make, what I was supposed to make, which I really really liked. I kind of feel like some of the Telltale games are pretty good at doing that, but this one like I constantly did not know what choice to make was, and I actually like was sort of like weighing based on these people's like interpersonal relationships, like oh should I tell her, should I tell him that that girl might be cheating on him or not? It's I don't know. It's a lot of like it's a lot of weird like little dumb decisions that could end up later sort of like spiral into life or death situations. Um, so besides the fact that it's just kind of like a choose your own adventure, it kind of plays like a really good version of Heavy Rain. Or if you like those Heavy Rain, you should absolutely just pick this up immediately. Um, there's an aspect of this I cannot talk about without it being spoilery. But the coolest part of the game is a part of the game I can't talk about. And I just want to say there's
Those
like
make for the best discussions.
yeah, yeah. I just want to say
Game's
that
really cool. Don't ask me about it.
like everything I've described, there is another major aspect of this game that I do not want to ruin that kind of puts the game on another level to the point where it becomes incredibly, incredibly unnerving. And something I just kind of wasn't expecting. I was just kind of expecting like, oh, this will be a fun, scary horror movie, and it kind of is. But there's this other aspect to it that I don't want to talk about. But it kind of turns it from general teen slasher horror to this like really weird psychological horror stuff where you're not really sure you know what's going on.
Ooh,
and
ooh.
yeah, and there's like it's very clear that there was this game they had before, and they inserted in this kind of neat hook, and that neat hook is amazing, and I can't ruin it, and I can't talk about it.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, but just know like if this is kind of like if you're like already kind of set, oh this game sounds kind of interesting, I promise you the thing that I can't talk about will put you over the edge, and like you should absolutely buy it. If you're on the edge and you're kind of like, oh I don't know, I promise you there's like this little bit that will just kind of put you over the edge to a purchase. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of rambled for a long ass time on that. I really like that game.
Yeah, like a real long ass time. That's okay. Because you basically told us that the game is cool, but you don't want to talk about it.
It's hard to talk. It's like a story game. It's like
I totally got you.
Yeah, it's like what's all the cool parts of Telltale games? Oh, I can't really tell you what the cool parts are of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the choices actually feel like they make sense? Like, do you actually have a say in what's going on, or is it kind of like Telltale where you have an idea that your choice matters, but really there's a pretty set path that you're following?
From what I understand, this game actually does. It felt like at least that my choices like were constantly. It kind of felt like because of the choice I made, the things that happened as a result of that were my fault. So,
Okay.
I mean, sometimes like there's sometimes like there's like plot points they just need you to get to. This doesn't totally make sense how you got there, but like the character dialogue and stuff, I think really works really well. You do feel like you're constantly like kind of pushing the story back and forth. I don't know how much influence you do have on the story, but you can save all of the characters, or they can.
I know I've heard that you can get through this with nobody dying.
I don't know how to do it. It is fun. It is funny though. Like when characters' lives are on the line, like they give you choices. Like you can say like there are ways the game. Man, it's so hard not to ruin. But I promise you, like when a character's about to die, they actually give you warnings too. When if a character's about to die or not, there's this kind of like weird totem thing you pick up every once in a while. They'll show you the future. So there's situations that they can show you that you can actually avoid or try to get to if it's a good situation or a bad situation. So it can show you a character's death. You don't know exactly how they died, but you can like look in like the little 3-second clip they show you, like try to get hints of how they might have died, so you can avoid that situation in the future. Super
Fancy.
cool. It's really really cool. There's a lot of all the neat little wrinkles that I want to talk about. Like I just can't. Just if you like Heavy Rain, or if you like Beyond, this is better than those. It's more interesting. It's a lot more engaging.
Yeah, and I like those.
You should.
I like
Yeah.
those. I should buy this.
You should.
I don't know. This is one of those things like I don't know why I haven't bought it. I just haven't. I don't know why. I should.
Yeah. It does like everything you've heard about it is true. Like it does. You feel like you're playing a horror movie, and it feels like you're in control of the horror movie. And sometimes it's kind of cool. They make you make dumb decisions. You're like, why would you ever do that in a movie? And in this game, they kind of give you a reason to maybe do that dumb decision. So I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I'll be buying that in the next week or two.
You should
Good to
absolutely.
know.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up on Black Friday. for
I
sure.
say that's what I'm hoping for. Is maybe it'll be $20 somewhere Black Friday or 25.
Yeah.
Give me something to do after I finish up Battlefront next week. Woo! All right, so this is a weird game. Not weird, but just weird in the fact that I played it last week. That is Warhammer 4000 Space Marine.
Is this that actually sort of not Devil May Cry like, but it's like a beat 'em up Warhammer game?
Yeah, it's like Darksiders.
Ooh.
It feels a lot like Darksiders. If you took all the cool, original, unique aspects of Darksiders and just went Space Marine killing orcs, that's what this game is.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I bought this randomly because somebody's like, "Oh yeah, this is a really cool game that everybody kind of ignored in like 2009 or whatever when it came out."
Yeah.
I think I found it at GameStop for like $4 or something. So I was like, why not give it a shot?
Mm-hmm.
But this game is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, like story-wise, I know nothing about Warhammer other than the fact that you're in space. And that's exactly all I know.
Yeah.
And after playing that game, I just know that now you're in space and there's orcs and the orcs are bad.
Did you beat the game?
Yeah.
And you still don't know.
No, I have no clue what any of this is. This basically so it starts out with I don't even know how to describe it. Almost like just a screen of like text of you're on planet blank. The orcs are on planet blank. You hate the orcs blank. And then it's like, oh man, the orcs shot down my ship. We better start killing them. Proceed to run down hallway to arena, hallway to arena, hallway to arena for the next 8 to 9 hours.
Is it fun? Is that good?
Yeah, like
is that bad?
it's very similar to like Darksiders combat where you've got some form of sword and it switches out. So sometimes you have like a sword, sometimes you have an axe, a big giant ass hammer that you can smack stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
You get different types of guns. I don't know. It plays like Darksiders, almost like the slowed down Devil May Cry. It's very much that just very traditional beat 'em up where you're just running down a hallway. It opens up. Holy crap! There's a ton of guys here. Kill them all, and then you kill them all, and then it's like, yeah, you killed them all. Let's go down this hallway. But the combat works really well because it's one of the few games I've seen where guns and swords are pretty much interchangeable and both fit situations and both actually work. Like Devil May Cry, your gun is not going to kill anything.
No.
This, I can sit there and I can take out my assault rifle, I can shoot an orc 3 times and he's going to die, or I can take out my sword, hit him twice and he's going to die.
Oh, so they make them like on the same power level basically?
Yeah, so you can actually kind of pick and choose. You could probably play through this game and never once touch your sword, or you could play through this game and never once touch your gun.
That's kind of cool. So, does the game keep up after like 9 hours though?
I got a little bored after like 6 or 7, but the way it works, so you fight orcs for like the first, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours, and then some shit happens, and I don't really know, but space demons show up, and there's a big evil space demon, and I don't remember his name, but then you realize that, oh man, the orcs aren't half bad, we gotta kill the giant space demon instead, and then it's that like 3-way battle thing where you run into a room and the Space Marines are on one side and the orcs are on one and the space demons are on the other and everybody's shooting at everybody.
Oh, that's
so that kind of changes up a little bit, and then the way those enemies attack you works slightly differently than the other ones, but
that sounds kind of cool. Was it worth $4?
Oh, it's totally worth $4. Yeah, you can go to GameStop and get this for like $2 or $3. It's definitely one of those games where I could see somebody putting $60 in and going, that was fun, but no. But for the $5-10 you can find it for now, go buy it. It's fun.
It's been on my list for a long time, actually. Crap.
Yeah, that's basically why I got it, and I think I bought this like 3 years ago. It's just been sitting on my shelf, and I don't even remember. There was nothing. I had nothing to play for like a week or something after I finished Madden and I finished Metal Gear and Batman and all those other games. It's like, well, I'm not buying anything. Let's go look at the shelf, and I grabbed this one and went, why not? So
that's kind of
that's what pretty darn well
this week as well.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that every now and then.
No,
but yeah. So the next game I want to talk about here, and this is gonna be a fun one because we have very drastically opinions.
I'm mad at you already.
Oh, I do know you're mad at me because I love this game, and you hate it, and you are pissed at me because you think this game is Bloodborne, but old school.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, what is the game? We got to introduce the game.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we do. We probably should. Not together. I mean, you can say it.
Well, now you ruined the surprise. So, Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles. Was this a plus game?
No, this was a sale.
Okay, I was gonna say, how do we both end up with this game at the same time? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was on sale for like $250.
Yeah, and you thought it was Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I did at first, and then I bought it and realized this is not Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night is in there somewhere if you unlock it, but I don't know how to unlock it, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But this game was so much fun. I love old school Castlevania games. The Game Boy Advance Castlevania games are some of my favorite games. If you look at our top 100, I think it's Aria of Sorrow is like number 15. I used to love those games, and this is kind of the precursor to those, that Symphony of the Night era. Pretty much the generation right before, where it's not so much an open Castlevania game where you're wandering all over the place. It's very strict levels. It still has the same gameplay, but it's very much level 1, level 2, level 3, and you can explore inside those levels and go different paths in those levels, but they're not just that one big castle like more modern Castlevania games are.
Yeah, this one I think came out. I can't remember if this one came out just before Symphony of the Night. I know it came out because it came out with the MSX, which is like a weird computer system sort of thing.
Well, it's the prequel to Symphony of the Night. It's the game that comes before it in the chronology of Castlevania.
Oh, it does? Oh, I had no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the first Castlevania game I ever played, so.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That is not a good Castlevania game to start with.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I mean, it definitely feels like, from what I understand, that's not true, I guess. I actually played a little bit of the original version of this. I don't remember how I did that. I'll just assume legally.
That's the right bet to go on when you're recording yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think the reason I don't like this game is because, for whatever reason, for me and Brad had talked a little bit about this off the podcast. I can be patient in 3D games, but for whatever reason, if I'm playing a 2D game, I don't like being patient. And this game requires just an ungodly amount of patience and memorization, and I hate that.
Which is so weird, because I cannot do that in 3D games, but this game I loved, because it was just like, oh yeah, like Doug sent me a thing, I'm stuck on level, I don't remember, like level 5, this damn thing, I can't beat it. I went, oh, you just you wait till it does this, you take 2 steps back, and then you run forward, and then you hit it, and then you do that 3 times, and it's dead.
Yeah, why is that fun? I hate that.
Why is Bloodborne fun? Why is Bloodborne fun to you?
What?
Why is Bloodborne fun to you? Because Bloodborne's the same damn thing, but way harder.
No, because Bloodborne. Okay, the thing I don't like about this game, okay, in Bloodborne, because it's a 3D plane, is that sometimes fights don't necessarily go your way. They're not always so predictable. This one is like a very, very set, predictable. You have to know these exact memorizations. It is like if you memorize it and you can do the exact same thing every time.
Yeah.
Especially with boss battles. Like the boss battles, like you're not even like really fighting the boss. You're just, they do an attack and then you dodge it and then they like cycle through it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
But why is that? That's fine. That's not fun to me. That's just like that. Okay. So I don't understand how you can like this game and you don't like Mega Man.
I don't remember why I didn't like Mega Man. Just seemed like too. I didn't like the controls. The version I played, I don't even remember which one it was. The Mega Man I was playing just didn't seem like the controls were tight enough. Like I never felt like I had a good enough control over the character.
But that's what I feel like in this one too, is because everything is very deliberate. Like the animations are super long, and like he walks like really stilted. And I just wish this game just felt smoother. It just doesn't feel right in my hands, I guess is the best way to describe it. Like it just feels like I don't know how to describe it. Like Bloodborne, I always feel like directly in control of my character, and in this one I felt like I was just constantly waiting for animations to end. And I was like, he'd swipe. I was like, oh, I missed. It's like, but I can't. I don't know. It just felt gross, and not gross. It just felt like it felt like I don't know. It felt like very wooden. I don't know how to describe that feeling, but I just felt like I constantly had to like what it was like every time I entered a room, I wouldn't be able to beat it. Like I just knew I wouldn't. I would die. And in Bloodborne, you have if you're careful enough, you can always get through. Oh, I guess if you're careful in this one too.
Exactly. I think what this comes down to, and when we were having our conversation about this game like a week or so ago,
yeah,
in my mind, this came back to what we talked about when we were talking about favorite games, is your entrance to video games was more or less, you said, PS1 era.
Yeah.
Mine was Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which this is how most of those games played. Which again, it's still weird why I don't like Mega Man. I don't know why I don't like Mega Man, but I didn't care for Mega Man.
Yeah.
But this game is very much a product of that time, where it's linear path. You've got your animations, you've got your patterns. You know your patterns. You can beat it. And I just think, to me, growing up for those years that I had those things, this fits with my memory of how these games should play. I'm on a 2D platform, or just a 2D plane. I know what I need to do, and I know that doing that will beat it. My issue with Bloodborne is there's too many things like that I can fuck up even if I know the pattern. If I dodge to the right and I was supposed to dodge diagonal right, I'm dead. If I dodge right and there's a pillar in the way, I'm dead. This is, if I dodge right, I know I just dodge right.
Oh, see, I just don't think. I think I just don't like that mechanicalness of it. Like, that's so funny. Like, they're like complete opposites of this. Like, because I like that. I love that free flowingness of like Dark Souls. I'm playing Demon Souls right now too. We're probably not gonna talk about it, but I love that sort of free flowingness that I get with combat. And this one doesn't. It doesn't feel like combat. It just feels like I'm taking a test. You know what I mean?
I could see that, but again, I think it's just that when we grew up.
Yeah.
This to me is like classic 2D platform action game. And I could see that wanting that free flowingness of Bloodborne where you can kind of have more of complete control over your character versus I know my limitations, I know the boss's limitations, I know how to match those up.
Yeah. That's true. Sometimes I feel like Bloodborne, even if you really do know what you're doing, you can still fuck it up. And this one, like, if you know what you're doing, like, you could probably just decimate a boss, like, no problem.
Exactly. And that's why I don't like Bloodborne, because I always find a way to screw it up.
And it is insane that you don't have Shovel Knight.
Yeah, I need to buy Shovel Knight too. That's another one. That one and Until Dawn are two that have been sitting there forever waiting for me to buy them.
Yeah, because I actually like Shovel Knight. I actually like a lot. You would love Shovel Knight if it's.
I'm sure I would.
Because I really don't even have that nostalgia for those type of games. I thought that game was fun as hell. Oh, actually, real quick, I just realized this is probably not on our list, but I actually did play like the new update for it, and I played it on Vita.
Shovel Knight?
Yeah, they had the update where you could play as like a new character. Oh,
that's right, the giant expansion pack do-over, whatever.
Yeah, and they had some like extra challenges and stuff. Oh my god, that made the game so much fun. I thought it was just gonna be like, I was like, I'm not really gonna replay this game, but playing as a new character is really really different. It's like a ton of fun. They have this really cool challenge mode that kind of set you in an arena. It's like kill all the enemies in this amount of time, kill this boss in this amount of time, but they give you like barely enough. You need to beat these bosses like perfect. Like it asks you to beat a boss perfectly, which is actually kind of fun and ridiculous, and it's really cool. And you should, if anybody hasn't picked up Shovel Knight, Brad, just grab that game. Really good. Get that.
Yeah. I wanna.
Yeah.
I'll do it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Probably when it's $250. It'll never be $250.
It's not gonna be $250. You should get it for like how much? What is it? It's like $15 now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll get it eventually. Probably next time it's on sale, maybe I'll go for it.
Yeah, I'll hold you to that.
Alright, so this next part's a little weird, because we've both been playing some Definitive Edition HD re-release type games.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, the one I was playing, which was Resident Evil, which we'll talk about here in a second, I'd never really played the original. You were playing the DmC Definitive Edition on PS4.
Yes.
Did you play DmC the first time around?
I did not. I was actually waiting for this to play it.
For like 4 years?
Yeah, well, kind of.
I know that system that hasn't been announced yet that's coming soon is going to follow this new trend of re-releasing old games with better graphics, and I'm just going to wait for both of those things to start.
Actually, what I was kind of waiting for is I played DmC Definitive Edition. I wasn't like a purist because when the original game came out, it was like 30 FPS. And then
never mind. You're gonna get all technical bullshit.
Not super technical. But then the PC version was like the better version at the time, and it was at 60 frames per second. It was just a better version. I was just like, they're probably gonna release it on consoles, and I'll wait to make my judgment call on this before I actually pick it up. So I'm a pretty big Devil May Cry fan. I am not the type of person who tries to like A+S everything, like all the levels and stuff like that. But I do play through all the games on hard. So I'm like not super hardcore, but I mean,
working on it.
I'm working on it. So actually, when this game was first announced, do you remember that trailer like a really, really long time ago? it was like he was like arrested and he had like bloodshot eyes and he was all like gangly and stuff.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm talking? Yeah,
I think
he
so.
like
Yeah,
picked,
like the initial reveal trailer where everybody's like, "What the hell did you do?"
yeah, and honestly, like when I saw it, I was super excited. I was like, "This is awesome!" I was so excited when that was announced, which sounds terrible because I know like a lot of Devil May Cry fans are like, "What? What is this?" I was excited because I got kind of bored with the settings of DMC 2, 3, and 4. The settings are just kind of boring, and this one looked like a whole new setting, whole new attitude, whole new lot of things. So I was kind of excited for it. When the game came out, I'd heard sort of mixed things. I just wanted to play the 60 FPS version. I was like, I'm just gonna play the best version of this game, and that is the definitive edition. I guess I haven't even started talking about actually playing it.
There's other reasons you didn't play it. Now, why did you play it today?
Yeah, well, it was on sale, um, and
Yes.
yeah, so I decided to play this. This game, DMC Definitive Edition, is just as okay. It's not as good as Devil May Cry 4. I will put that up. I'll put that like straight up. It's not as good as Devil May. It's not a better game, but it's definitely a more interesting one. I think that the gameplay is probably not as good as the other games. It doesn't feel as tight, but you can do a lot more stuff like really easily, which I really really enjoyed. Apparently, they sort of
Yeah.
simplified everything down, so it kind of actually remind me of a lot of like Smash Brothers, where it's really simple to pull off the moves, and it's kind of your job to actually like come up with the combos. So they
Okay.
kind of yeah. So if you think like the old DMC games, when you wanted to get really really stylish, they'd actually probably take like 4 or 5 playthroughs before you actually got like really really comfortable with doing like a lot of technical stuff in DMC to get those SS rankings. So what they did, they kind of took that away. So now you can immediately pull off any move easily, and it's just stringing them together is the difficult part, which I think is actually a lot of fun. I kind of like they sort of lowered that bar. I know that pissed off a lot of people, and I can understand like these people who spend hours and hours and hours on these games would be mad about that.
Yeah, I actually like that too. Because when I played through this, I remember thinking, you know what? This isn't as difficult to get into. Because I felt like that was always kind of one of the things with the first four games was by the time you're finished with your first playthrough, you feel really comfortable with it. But
Yeah,
those first couple hours, I always felt like I was fumbling over how to do anything.
yeah,
In this game, I felt like I kind of just picked up and was like, oh, I just did that. Oh, I just did that. Oh, okay, if I just do this, I can do that over again.
yeah.
Which sounds like it's me trying to say it's way too simple,
Mhm.
but it works because, like you said, it's just all about stringing those. It's more about timing more so than memorizing the button combinations and getting everything precisely right.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that the input was easy, but the actual like trick. So it kind of felt like you could immediately do some of the more elaborate things like right off the bat. It was kind of fun when I first started playing the game. I was like, oh my god, he has so many moves. What the hell am I even doing? But by the end, you actually I felt more comfortable with that move set than like any other action game I ever played. Like every time I was doing something, because the inputs are so easy, you're always doing exactly what you want to do,
Yeah,
which is really
there's
really
never that
nice.
moment of, oh, I didn't mean to do this, I meant to do that. It's always very purposeful.
Yeah, and I really like that. I know if there's people who are like hardcore DMC fans are like they're listening to all this like, oh, what is this crap? I can't believe this. And I can understand that because it's not as technical as the other Devil May Cry games, but there is clearly still that amount of depth because there's a lot of stuff you can do and play with the animations that they did purposely. Like you can cancel animations. They have a gun called the Kablooey. I don't know if you is that in the original one?
I don't remember. I mean, it's been like years since I played
Oh,
this game.
okay. So what the kablooey is, it's like a gun you shoot at a guy, and it kind of attaches a grenade to them, and you can set it off whenever you want. But what it'll do, it'll cancel their attack, like whatever they're doing. Or you can hit them up in the air, blow them up, and you can blow them farther in the air. So there's a lot of like weird technical stuff you can still sort of do in
Huh.
the game that allows you to do that kind of fun stuff. I didn't really get into it. I just wanted to beat stuff up. Um, the last thing I want to say, this game has the best environmental design in any game I've ever seen. I don't know. It has the best environments. I can't even think of another game. I was trying to think like, is there another game I've seen with better environments than this? I can't. After there's like the nightclub level.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is just incredible. It's incredible. I don't know how else to describe it. It is
It's
just amazing to look at.
It's a very well-designed game, and I really think this is one of those things that probably is much better in hindsight, just because when it came out, it was so controversial. Seems like an overly dramatic word, but
Yeah.
there is so much pushback just from everything from this, from it was a Western studio that developed it, and it's not the same Dante, and it's got a very different look, and it doesn't have the same tone to it necessarily, and his
Yeah.
hair's different, and all that pushback on it. And I think looking back, if you take a couple steps back and you go, okay, this came out a few years ago, we're away from all that, we know what this is now. Looking back, and you go, okay, yeah, that is a great game.
Yeah. Yeah, and the definitive version actually changed a lot of the attack animation speeds. It actually played on turbo mode, which is 120% speed. So it just felt like a Devil May Cry game. Like, it felt the same speed as I had heard that the game, I think, is it's 20% slower on the original consoles. So I think the way I play with the turbo thing, and then they add all these improvements that people had complained about from the original DMC and added them in the Definitive Edition when it came to how the different attacks work and stuff like that. So I felt like I played the best version of this game, and the best version of this game is a damn good Devil May Cry game.
Yeah.
I also liked how stupid teenager it was as well. Like, I loved it as like the stupid, like, fuck the world, everybody, you're all being led by the government, man. I actually really like
mass media's messing with your brains, and you're just doing what you're told, you damn sheep.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what it is about it. Like, it's something that instantly comes off. It like the first time I was like, this is annoying, but then you kind of got into it. It's very punk rock. Like, it takes that attitude and like everything, like the art, the characters, just everything is this like stupid punk rock attitude that is like really ignorant and like what a dumb teenager would think about. And it's just it's kind of fun.
But it fits.
Yeah. It feels like a really angsty 14-year-old made this game, and it's kind of cool because of it.
Yeah, it's a very different tone than you see in a lot of other games, which is cool.
Oh yeah.
So I also went back and played a game. Like I mentioned, I went out and bought the Resident Evil HD remake, remaster, 800 times thing on the PS4.
Yeah.
So I was talking about Resident Evil 4 the other day when we were doing our 100 favorite games. And coincidentally, Sony was like, oh, well, we should do a sale on Resident Evil games since Brad liked Resident Evil 4 so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat there and debated for a while which one I was going to get. And I decided to go with this because I've never actually finished the first Resident Evil game. I rented it when I was like 8 years old, and it scared the living shit out of me.
Wait, like Resident Evil, which one did you run? Like is that Resident Evil 2 or?
No, Resident Evil 1, like in the mansion, like when I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, for like the original PlayStation or for GameCube?
Yeah, like the original PlayStation.
Oh, like you went like really, literally Resident Evil 1.
Like literally Resident Evil, like mid to late 90s Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
And I was at Family Video and just like, oh, this looks cool. I don't know what this is. And I got home and I think I played it for like an hour. I went, I don't want to play this anymore. So I bought it because I was like, well, I love Resident Evil 4 Plus, and I haven't really gone prior to 4 too much. So I figured, well, this is a good place to start. Let's try it. But this game frustrates me beyond no end, and I don't know why.
What? Brad?
Yeah. I think it's just a couple things. Going back, and this again got me into that mindset of Castlevania of, I have no patience for shitty 3D controls. And this, I feel like, is the poster boy for shitty 3D controls.
Wait,
there are so many times where I'm trying to run up and I'm running down because the camera switched and just.
Oh, you know what you can do? Oh, actually, that was added. You can change your controls to tank controls, which you actually might want to do.
Oh, settings menus are useful.
yeah. This is one of those things they changed with those games specifically. What people used to complain about, it's like, oh, these people control like crap. But forward would always be forward of the character. So when the camera changed, if you're walking down a hallway, they'd still be walking in forward to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that. But it's just one of those things that just messes with my brain just enough to piss me off. And just, I don't know, it feels very early PlayStations, which it is. But at this point in my life, I don't want to deal with that. Like, the save system drives me crazy. I don't want to run back 18 minutes to go, or not 18 minutes, most of the time it's like 5 minutes to go back to a save spot and then go, well, do I have time to go check out this room and then come back?
Yeah.
Which which sounds really like minor complaints, but it's enough that for after the first 45 minutes, I stopped playing it because I got to one. And the first couple are a little bit more spread out. I may be 5 hours into this, maybe a little bit more. And no, maybe 4. But the first ones are much more spread out. They become much more apparent where they are, and you get past the typewriters quicker. But the first one, I felt like it took me like 45 minutes to get there. And I literally kind of like paused and was like stressing out, like, do I have enough time right now before I need to go to bed to get to the next typewriter? Or am I just going to start walking, get sleepy, and go, oh, I got to go to bed, and turn the damn thing off?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can always do like the PS4 rest mode or whatever.
Yeah, but that always makes me nervous.
It should. Sometimes it doesn't work so hot.
Yeah, and that makes me nervous, especially when we put time in. But I don't know. It's one of those things where I understand why when this game came out, if I would have been my age when this game came out, I would have loved this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just one of those things of I don't quite have the rose-colored glasses for early PlayStation titles that a lot of people do.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To make this really appealing to me. Just looking at it as just like, yep, this is an old game. But it's interesting enough, and I love the design ways that you have to go through and you have to figure things out, and it doesn't necessarily seem like everything fits in the right order. I love all that stuff. It's just those minor little like early PlayStation mechanics that are driving me crazy.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Do you find the game scary?
This game?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Okay, see, I think that's the problem with some of these like early survival horror games is that the game mechanics, like you're already supposed to be scared, and so the game mechanics are supposed to make you more scared. But
yeah.
If you're so like, oh my god, I need to get back to that save. I need to get back to that save. But if you're not scared, they just come off as annoyances.
Yeah, I could totally see that because I understand that would add to the tension if I was like sitting here like lights off, like shivering playing this game, like, oh god, don't eat me. But it's not. It's like, okay, yep, zombie in that room. He's moving kind of okay. Shot him in the face. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could definitely see that. But, yeah, I don't have that. I mean, there are some games that creep me out a little bit. Outlast. I don't know if you played that.
Oh, I couldn't handle it.
That game freaked me out a few times. But this one, no, not in particular. So it's more, yeah, horror games to me are much more that style where it's that, what the friggin' hell is over there. And I think, again, maybe it's just the age of this game showing that I'm not frightened by it, because 8 or 9 year old me was terrified. Like,
yeah.
literally, I think I made it in the mansion. It was like, nope.
Yeah, I think that game I think a lot of the mechanics of that game like rely on you being scared of it. And
yeah.
I think you probably have more fun with it if you're scared of it, and then this one's it's kind of like I'll mention Bloodborne Never Again. That's not true. But
until next week.
It's a Bloodborne Demon Souls mechanic where you can collect a lot of souls, but if you die, then it's kind of like it adds the mechanics add the tension. But if you're not, but like you're just not into the game at all to begin with, so that
well, no, that's not saying I'm not into the game because I love the concept of it. And I love the tight quarters. I like the game. There's just not I'm not feeling the pressure in the right way for those things to be tension based. It just comes off as annoying that if I go get the blue key or whatever, or the sword key, and then I die, then I lose the sword key and go, oh crap. It's the same problem I have with Bloodborne. Oh, I got all those souls. Oh, but I'm dead, so screw that noise. Now I gotta just go do the same damn thing over again.
Yeah, I don't... This is one thing that some people seem to really like. I don't like when saving is a game mechanic.
Yeah, I agree.
Ever since like autosaves kind of like came into being, like I can't, it's hard to go back to those games where like they have, this is your save point. If you do, like you can't, between save points doesn't matter, like you could lose it all if you don't get to the next save point. Like that's not fun.
But see, and this is the weird thing, is that doesn't bother me in Final Fantasy at all.
See, that bothers me way more in Final Fantasy, because I die all the time in those games. I'm terrible at those.
Oh, well maybe I'm just good at those games. But to me, that's like one of those things where once you go into that dungeon, or once you go into that place where there's something going on, yeah, there's going to be limited spots to rest. That makes sense to me. But then, okay, kind of the hub world, the outside part, save wherever the hell you want, whatever, do your own thing. When you're in this type, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, we'll auto-save before you get to the boss rush part, but you got to make it through that on your own. But once you're done with that, go for it, and you can save whenever you want.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess they that does kind of like after down times, like they definitely give you like they always put save spots like when you need them. I guess that is true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know, but
I actually really want
I
to
don't
play
know.
this too.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if you might like it more because you're much more the PS1 era is a
Yeah.
thing for you, whereas for me that's PS1 era was Banjo Kazooie, Super Mario 64.
Oh, so you never played like Parasite Eve or Dino
Nope.
Crisis or any of those?
I played Dino Crisis on my Vita like a year ago, and I kind of stopped playing because I had the same issue of save points and weird mechanics.
Yeah. Those are all kind of the same. Yeah, I could see those. I could see it being pretty outdated from like an outsider's perspective.
Yeah. All right. Two more games to get through. This is like a gauntlet of games we played because we haven't talked about any of these for the longest time. So
Yeah, this is
we
not
do
like a
have
normal
news.
episode. This is just a games we played episode again.
We do have news. Nintendo Direct was today. We'll get
Yeah,
to that
sort of.
later.
We'll get to that later.
So Walking Dead Season 2 is on PS Plus this past week for the month of November.
Yep.
This game I actually bought. See, episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then stopped buying after that. So I played
Oh,
1, 2, and 3 of this.
yeah.
And then I stopped. And then it came out on Plus, and I don't know why, but I just had this feeling like, I should go play The Walking Dead Season 2. And I played through the entire thing this weekend.
And I've always heard mixed opinions of this, which is why like I never touched it or like cared.
hmm
So why are there without spoilers? Why are there mixed opinions about this?
So if you put this in perspective of Telltale games, it is not great.
Oh,
Walking Dead Season 1 is head and shoulders above this, and in my opinion, Wolf Among Us is head and shoulders above that. So it's just kind of that if you're going to play a Telltale game, this isn't the one to play.
oof.
If you really like Telltale games, this is a very good game.
Okay.
The story is very clunky. It doesn't have that big emotional investment that I feel like a lot of them do. This one plays much more loose with what's going on. Not necessarily what's going on. Much more loose with how you interact with the characters and who you're friends with. There's a lot more changing people in and out.
Oh, so you don't really get attached to any like one person if they keep getting swapped out in the next episode, sort of thing.
Yeah, and not to do too huge of spoilers, but one of the main characters, he shows up in the third episode, or I think it's right at the end of the second, or maybe right at the end of the second, is one of the main characters from the first game who I thought was a giant dick and didn't like and tried to get killed at every opportunity in that game. And he ends up being the main character for like 75% of this game,
Oh, you know,
which,
I was so mad I couldn't transfer my save over from the PS3 version that I don't think I'll ever actually play this.
see, I thought that too, and it didn't really even bother me because it's been so many years since I played the first one that so much of that is gone
Oh, okay.
that like I don't even remember the specifics. And it's one of those things where it plays on a few things from that, but for the most part, you could sit down in this and having never played the first one, if you know who Lee is, you're good to go.
Oh, okay.
That's really all you need. But it does work well and it plays great as a Telltale game. It just doesn't have the same amount of feelings that Walking Dead Season 1 and Wolf Among Us do, where oh man, what was that? Like, what are we going to do?
hmm
Each episode wraps up pretty nicely, so there's never really that big dramatic, like, oh god, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Up until episode 4 ends with one, where it's this huge, huge moment, and shit starts going down, and then it kind of cuts out in the middle. But,
hmm
I don't know, I just don't feel like it has the same draw as the other couple ones. But
Yeah.
if you like Telltale games, it's great. The ending's garbage. I hated the ending. I don't know if I did like the wrong ending or what, but the ending sucked.
Oh, crap. I can't really. I'll ask you that after the podcast because I'm sure there's a lot of people going to play it because of PS Plus, so I don't really want to ruin anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you've never played a Telltale game, I would for sure give it a shot, and if you like it, know that there's much better stuff out there. Just because it's, free now. Walking Dead Season 1's free every 2 weeks. I feel like no matter what you do, if you've paid for that game, I feel like you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I honestly like any episodic game. I'm not gonna buy until they're all out because that's like when the reviews finally come in. Um,
See, and that's weird because this is the first time I've ever played a Telltale game straight through. Walking Dead Season 1, Wolf Among Us, I went episode to episode.
That's ridiculous to me. That's crazy because I love binging on these games.
See, and I did too, and I think that's why I stopped episode 3, because I actually got to the point I went, okay, I could see why I stopped, and then in that 2-month gap, completely forgot about this, because nothing important happened in the last hour.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then, where, in hindsight, looking at what happens in episode 4, it's like, sorry, episode 3 was where I stopped, and episode 3 kind of feels like that getting from one point to the next kind of middle missions, like, okay, we wrapped up this chunk of the story, we need to use this hour to get you to the next part.
Yeah.
And having ended on that, going episode by episode, I didn't have that hook to come back for episode 4, and I think that's why I never did, because it just ends and you're like, okay, yep, that's going on, cool.
Yeah, I feel like I think it's like when you have them all, it's okay if there's like an episode that isn't as good, or because it's like, okay, that's just like, a few hours of this game that, it wasn't great, but I'd went on to the next part. The next part was awesome. But I feel like a lot of people would lose their motivation to continue if they were doing it like episode by episode.
Yeah, and it's not like a TV series where episode by episode means week to week. There's normally like 2 months or so in between these episodes, which is realistically a long time when you think about this as if you're watching the show like Breaking Bad, or even, well, I don't know why I went to that one, the Walking Dead TV show is a much better comparison. You get your hour, and then you have to wait a week and get your next hour. Whereas here it's, you get your hour and a half, you wait 2 months, you get 2 hours, you wait another 2 months, you get 2 hours.
Yeah.
It almost needs to be more disconnected, like movie sequels, as opposed to hardcore, like, no, remember that conversation you were in the middle of? You're still in the middle of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. That kind of sucks. I mean, actually, what's that game that just finished? The one with the teenage girls, one can go back in time.
Life is Strange?
Yeah, that one I can't wait to pick up.
Wait, you played that?
No, I haven't. I played the demo. I like the demo. I was intrigued by the demo.
Yeah, I was intrigued by the demo too, and then went, I'll wait for it all to come out.
And it just all came out, so there's got to be a sale or something coming soon. It's so bad. Like I actually really like Telltale games in these, but like seriously, I only wait till like $10 or like $7.50 for the whole season, and then I'll grab them.
Yeah, well, I mean that happens with all of them.
Yeah.
You do kind of feel like a sucker when you buy it episode through episode. So I had that with Wolf Among Us, where I was like, oh yeah, I got it. Oh, I think I just put $25 in this game, and now it's $6.
yeah. That's why I will.
And I finished the same time as everybody else.
Yeah, that's just like it just seems like no fun to do it that way.
Yeah. All right, last game, I promise.
Yep.
You played whatever the hell ZHP is, which apparently is a game.
Yeah, I actually had to look up the full title. So the full title is, no joke, ZHP Unlosing Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man. So this is a weird Japanese game, if you couldn't tell by the title.
Really? Wait, was that last word Eagle Man?
No, a Darth Evil Man. Evil.
Okay. Okay, that makes. I heard Dark Eagle, like the bird.
No, the main bad guy's name is Dark Death Evil Man. So
okay, that's not as bad.
Yeah. So I play this game for maybe 2 hours and I'll never play it again. But it has the coolest, best opening to any game I ever played. It was actually really funny. The opening is amazing. As soon as the gameplay started, I was like, this game's not for me, and I just turned it off. But the reason I want to talk about this game is because the opening is effing hilarious. It starts with the final battle between Unlosing Ranger and Dark Death Evil Man. And Dark Death Evil Man is going to destroy the Earth, and all the there's news reporters and stuff, like, all there waiting for Unlosing Ranger to come and stop Dark Death Evil Man. So Dark Death Evil Man is like, where is the Unlosing Ranger? And so you play as the Unlosing Ranger, and he's just a high school kid who's like a Power Ranger kind of character. And he's running to the battle because he's late.
Of course he is, because he's a teenage Power Ranger.
Yeah, no, exactly. But he's like, oh, I wish Mom had woken me up earlier. And then he gets hit, and then he gets hit by a car. And so the two people in the car are having a discussion. They're like, I'm sure he's fine. It was like, oh my god, was that the Unlosing Ranger? What are you talking about? He's never lost a battle. A car shouldn't kill him. So they're like, so they drive away. And you actually don't play as the Unlosing Ranger. What you do is you play as a guy who's getting groceries that day. And you
This is the stupidest and greatest sounding thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's so good. It's so good. So you come up to the Unlosing Ranger, and the Unlosing Ranger's like, you need to fight the battle for me. Don't worry, the suit will do it for you. And he goes, what's your name? And, like, the default name for the main character is main character. Like, that's just your name. So you as the main character.
And you're like, oh shit, I just wanted my Cheerios.
Yeah, so you as the main character is like this like loser kid who like doesn't know how to fight. Then you have to go to Dark Death Evil Man, like, and all these cameras are pointing at you. And then the battle starts, and it plays like a normal 2D RPG. Like, it actually plays like a Nintendo RPG. Like, they show the bad guy and he's like an 8-bit graphics, and you attack him, it does like 1 damage, and he attacks you, it does like 9,999 damage, and then he kills you. and then you wake up in this weird techno-y planet that's on the other side of Earth, where you then train to fight Dark Death Evil Man. And then I actually played the game. I didn't really like it very much. So I'm not going to play it again. But
So how much gameplay did you actually do of this game?
I think I got like through 3 training missions.
So like 20 minutes?
Yeah. But the opening was so good. The opening was so
I like
good.
how you just talked about the opening probably about as long as you actually physically played.
That's
this
probably
game.
true. Honestly, like when I turned it off, they're like, your weapons can degrade in battle. I was like, oh, I'm done.
Nope, that's not what this game should be.
No, and it was like one of those like strategy RPGs, and it's just really complicated, and like the tutorial like took me maybe a half hour to get through, and I was just like, I'm not gonna play this. But that opening was pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's really funny because like once you get killed by Dark Death Evil Man, like the next 5 minutes are just characters reacting to like, oh, well, I guess the world's over. Like everybody's just like, ah, crap, I guess, well, we're all gonna die.
Oh my gosh. So don't play it, but go look up the intro movie for ZHP Undying Dark blah blah blah.
ZHP Unlosing Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Not
go
a very
look
good
up
game.
the video for that, because apparently the game's garbage.
That's not garbage. It's just like, nah. The opening's cool though. Sorry.
Alright. So, to news. After all those games, we still have a little bit of news here. I don't know what this is, but Doug's pumped. His exact quote is, Tomba 2, motherfuckers. Is exactly what he wrote in those words with weird letters like that in all caps on our outline. I don't know what this is, so you have to tell us what that means.
Okay, so I played Tomba, say 3 years ago for the first time. Tomba was a 2D side-scrolling adventure game for PS1 that you can get on Vita. It's awesome. If you haven't played Tomba, you don't know what it is, just go buy it. It's pretty cheap. Just go buy it. Anyway, so I'm super pumped for Tomba 2 because I knew as a kid I had played Tomba 2 somewhere, and I knew there's an English version out there. So when they released Tomba 2, I'd say maybe a year after Tomba 1, they released a Japanese version on English stores on USPSN. Even though an English version did exist. So for the past 2 years, you could go and buy the game, but you'd have to play the Japanese version. And then don't worry, they released a full English language guide for you to follow along as you played. And I was so mad. I was so mad. I actually complained about it a lot on NeoGAF and a lot on Twitter and stuff like that. And so I just thought I was just never going to get. Apparently there's some sort of rights issue, or there's something wrong with the emulator or something. Nobody really knows what happened. But then, lo and behold, it was like the very last game, like a long list of like games coming out this week. It's like Tomba 2 in English. And so this game I've been waiting for, I don't know, 3 years to come out. Finally got my hands on it. It's pretty cool. I'll probably talk about it next week. But I don't know, I was just super excited that Tomba 2 got released. And you'll be really excited if Tomba 2 got released if you played Tomba 1, Brad. Which I'm sure I've told you.
But I didn't play Tomba 1, so I'm not excited.
You should go play Tomba 1. Everybody should play Tomba 1. Tomba's amazing. Tomba 2's okay. I will say I'm a little disappointed with Tomba 2, actually. That's why I don't want to talk about it.
I've been waiting for 12 years for this, and it sucked.
It didn't suck. It's just it's not as good as the first. Actually, what's really funny is that I will talk
not worth the 12-year wait.
Yeah, I will talk about it really quick. The English language version, so I guess whoever did the translation for Tomba 2 did a very literal translation. So everything's like very, everything's correct and all the grammar's fine, but the characters are so boring. It's like, Tomba, please help us go get the ice boomerang from the flaming garbledygoops, and like that's all it is. Like
Garbledygoops,
yeah,
huh?
they're blobs. They're blobs of fire. But it's just people telling you what to do, but there's like no kind of fun dialogue. It's just like, go do this, help us with this, go do that. It's kind of like it's like, oh, they took out all the fun wackiness of it of the first one, which is not cool.
Aw,
So I'm all disappointed in that.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
In other news, today is November 12th, which was the first November Direct, Nintendo Direct
hmm
in like months, like a long time.
Yes.
So we're not going to talk about a ton of stuff from this. Neither one of us have 3DSs, so there's not a ton of stuff necessarily to talk about in here pertaining to Wii U and such. The first thing I want to talk about is Nintendo's kind of jumping on the re-release train here.
Yep.
And they just announced Twilight Princess HD for the Wii U coming, I believe it was next March
Soon.
or
It's
April?
damn, dude. I don't know. I thought it was
That's
coming out
something
like
I
next
should've-
month.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like March or April.
Wow, this is bad. Somebody Google that. Anyway, this game is garbage. Don't play it.
Why is this garbage?
I know. I'm just kidding. I just hate this game. I just really hate this. I hate this game so much. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate
This
it.
is okay. To be fair, this is like the only Zelda game you've ever really played.
No,
right?
I played Wind Waker. I liked Wind Waker.
Okay, so you played Wind Waker and this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not like
March
a person who
4th.
should be talking about Zelda games for sure.
no, I've played pretty much all the Zelda games in some form or another.
Yeah.
I just really suck at them, and I have no patience for them, like at all. So, yeah, I make it like I'm really good at the first 12 hours of Zelda.
What do you have problems with in Zelda? They're not like difficult games.
Yes, I don't know. I feel like I always get stuck. I don't know why. I just never feel like I'm invested enough to get past any form of difficulty. So as soon as there's like a temple or something that I just get stuck at, I'm like, well, enjoyed those 10 hours.
Is it
Moving
12-year-old
on.
you that gets stuck, or is it like 20-something-year-old of you that gets stuck?
Well, it was 12-year-old me for a really long time. The last time I have Skyward Sword. I never even bothered to play Skyward Sword. I have Skyward Sword, but that's another game that's sitting on my shelf
You
over
should
there.
probably play that one. I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, the last one I played was this was the last one I played, which would have been, oh gosh, like what, 10 years ago? No, not 10, like 8 years
Probably
ago
like
now.
2008 or 9 or something like that.
Yeah, that was because it would have been, because you were playing it in our dorm room.
Yeah.
So it would have been like 2008. So, yeah, I haven't played a Zelda game in like 7 years. So, teenage me was really good at the first 10 hours of Zelda.
Yeah, I wish I liked Zelda. I don't know. Those games never really clicked with me. I always like, but I like games that are like Zelda. Like I really like Darksiders, and I really liked Okami. I don't know, just Zelda never clicked with me. Oh, actually, at the end of this announcement, they did show, I would say maybe 3 seconds of the new Zelda as well.
Yeah, I have this weird feeling that this is their bullshit new Zeldas on NX. Here's your consolation prize.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's gonna get. It's probably gonna get like the dual, like just like Twilight Princess did. Twilight Princess was Wii and GameCube, so I'll bet it's gonna be
Yeah,
NX and Wii U or something like that. With the NX
I have the
version
same
being
feeling. I feel
clearly
like
better.
I just feel like this is completely that consolation prize of we told you there'd be a Zelda and we didn't tell you anything about which one. Like we technically didn't lie to you. Hey.
Well, to be fair, this is exactly what Sony did with the Uncharted collection. Like Uncharted 4 was supposed to come out like around this time,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Yep.
well, it got delayed. So Uncharted collection, this is the same thing.
Here you go.
Zelda was supposed to come out around this time. Well, Zelda Twilight Princess HD tied you over.
Yeah. So that's March 4th. So it's like 4 months from now.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that far out.
Yeah. It does come with a fancy amiibo too, but
I see.
yeah.
I wish I was sometimes I really do wish I was a Nintendo fan because I'd be like, oh, that'd be so much fun to have like a bunch of little amiibo guys like all kind of lining my shelf. But I'm not like super attached to Nintendo characters. They announced a shit ton of amiibos too.
Yeah, they did. That's where they're making their money.
Yeah, but like every single Animal Crossing character has an amiibo. Like there's
Yep.
like 3 versions of Link now. It's like every single game is getting an amiibo with it.
Yep.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't really care. You can play them all with ignoring them for the most part. It's basically Nintendo's shot at making DLC money since their online's so sucky.
That is true. It's like, yeah, it is kind of like DLC stuff. Do you
Instead of your pre-order DLC, you get your pre-order amiibo.
do you plan on getting any amiibos ever? I mean, you actually have a Wii U.
No,
No.
I don't know. I don't get into that crap.
They're gonna be huge on NX. That's gonna be such a big thing on NX, I'm sure.
Oh, I have a feeling it is too. It's gonna make me sad.
Yeah.
Other Wii U game that was mentioned, kind of not quite as big of a shock they were mentioning this, is Star Fox Zero, which now comes out on April 26th, which was originally supposed to be out like today.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a November release, so it should have been out right now, which I feel like that's a pretty huge pushback.
It looks better now. It actually looks a lot better now.
Yeah, so I feel like it was a well-deserved, like, we're gonna bump this for a while,
Hmm.
but I don't know.
I think
I still wish it was now.
Yeah, I think that game was probably content complete a while back, like a long time ago. And then at E3, everyone's like, "This game looks like not great." It like
Yeah.
just graphics wise. I mean, even if you're a big Star Fox fan, like graphics wise, that game doesn't look great.
No, it did not look pretty. Looked like fun, but it didn't look pretty.
Yeah, if you actually watch the new trailer, they actually did it. They actually improved it a lot. Like I would say, it's probably got the because it looks like it's running on like the Bayonetta 2 engine or something like that. So it actually
Yeah.
kind of has like a Bayonetta 2 sheen to it. It actually looks much prettier than it did I don't know, last time they showed it. If you guys are like, if some people kind of wrote off Star Fox as like not having great graphics, I would take a look at that new trailer. There's some pretty cool stuff, like them landing, like going through an atmosphere, like starting in space, going through atmosphere, then going into the ocean, and then that's when the level starts. Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think this is one of those cases of they could have definitely released it now, but it wouldn't have been the game everybody wanted.
Yeah, there's been a few games like this before where there's kind of like they're like clearly ready to go, and then people are just like, I don't know, and then they're like, okay, we'll let it cook for another few months, and then it comes out, it's like gonna be awesome. So it actually does
Yep.
look pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. In some 3DS news that is kind of more accessible to us,
Hmm.
there's a female Link, which Doug's really excited about, despite not liking Zelda.
I think it's just kind of cool. I don't know. People have been asking for a female Link for a while, and Link is such a non-character that's kind of weird that
Yeah.
it hasn't been a female for a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where we've got games like Fallout, Skyrim, all that stuff, where it's like, yeah, you can go either way, and I feel like Link was kind of that original you character,
Yeah,
so it just makes sense that at some point this would have happened. I did find it a little weird that, especially considering these are supposed to be just kind of the character representation of you, that she had a completely different weapon set, but that might have just been to fit into Hyrule Warriors.
yeah. I thought that I kind of felt like they sort of didn't go all the way. They're like, oh, this isn't actually Link. This is somebody else named Linkle, who's just kind of like Link. It's like, oh well, okay, guys, come on, just. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just do like a model swap or something like that. Especially because Link as a character, it doesn't matter that he's a guy or that's like one of the characters. It doesn't matter at all if he's a guy or girl.
Yep.
So I don't know why it wasn't just Link, like female
But
Link or something like that. But now it's like, and it's kind of like they kind of like, oh well, it's sort of like Link, but she's kind of like a new character with double crossbows and stuff like that. It's like, well, just give her a Master Sword, man.
progress is progress.
Yeah, that's true.
The other 3DS news that, I don't know, kind of interesting,
Yeah.
and I'm honestly shocked it hasn't happened yet, is Red, Blue, and Yellow Pokemon are going to be out on 3DS.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I don't know why those haven't been.
I think the thing that's kind of weird about these releases is that they're actually going to make the trading work between 3DSs. So it's not just like a standard port where like because if you think about it, like if they just port this normally, you probably wouldn't be able to trade because you're not using an actual Game Boy connector. But for whatever reason,
Oh,
they
that's true.
reprogrammed it or something, so you can actually trade. You can do like all that. You can battle with other people using 3DSs and still play the original Game Boy games. I honestly think all of this sounds like stuff that they're setting up for NX to be effing huge. Especially,
What do you mean?
they're hinting at new Zelda. Like they've been showing like 2016. This is when the new Zelda's coming out. They're trying to kind of get some people who are like classic Nintendo fans back in the fold with Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. It's like, oh, everybody like Pokemon Red. Like everybody played those games. If you have a PS4 now and you're in your 20s, you're like, oh, I'm the biggest Xbox, I'm the biggest PS4 fan. You still probably played Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Oh, hell yeah.
I feel like what they're kind of doing is getting ready to sort of call people back home. So they're like, which sounds no, but I mean, think about it, like Star Fox. The new Star Fox looks like Star Fox 64.
Yep.
The new
You've
Zelda,
got red, blue, and yellow 3DS.
The new Zelda kind of looks like Ocarina of Time ish. It's like an open world, very colorful.
Aesthetically, yeah.
Yeah, the setting looks very Ocarina of Time ish. They're starting to bring back these Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. They're like, oh, we'll finally do a girl Link kind of thing. We're trying to get more people. And then this final announcement, which is, oh god, this is weird.
And you're pissed about this for one reason. So the big
I'm not
announcement, I think this
pissed.
is probably the one that I think this is kind of the one that the biggest one out of the thing is that Cloud is now in Super Smash Bros. Or I don't know if it's now or coming soon.
Yeah.
But either way, that's huge. And I think again, if you're going for that really like we're going okay, if you are in your 20s and you used to like Nintendo, now's the time. Come on.
Yeah,
Come here.
that's what it
here.
feels like. It feels like all this is actually targeted at us, like our age.
Yeah. Yep, very much.
Which is kind of interesting.
This wasn't a Nintendo Direct for like the 13, 14-year-olds are going like, why is this why am I in a plane and it's on a linear path? Why are you releasing a Game Boy Color game? Who is this Cloud you speak of?
Yeah. It's weird. Like that's why I think this is all sort of like I think this is just like the first step in a big plan to release like, and I think they're gonna try to do a similar to kind of the PS4 did, like we're for the gamers sort of thing. I think that's what they're setting up to do.
Yeah, and really get into that. Okay, we're not going to be. But I mean, if you really think about it, that's kind of a Nintendo's thing for the most part. Is Nintendo's kind of, I feel like almost goal or mission statement has been, you know what? We're not going to get into the graphics race. We're not going to get into this. We're going to go for fun.
Yeah, but I think what happened is recently they sort of damn. I think they sort of lost the message though when they said fun. It meant like they kind of focused on kids and young families, and I think they sort of lost their message because of the Wii and Wii U confusion and stuff like that. But I think this is going to be. I think they're going to start targeting games that Mario games are fun for adults because they're good games and you have that nostalgia aspect as well. But there's nothing art style wise or story wise that indicates that it's for adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
But I feel like they're going to start moving away from that, and they are going to start like making stories that kind of like like Pixar. Like Nintendo is not like people like to Nintendo and Pixar are the same thing. Pixar actually their storylines can like apply to kids and adults, while Nintendo's storylines and characters really are just aimed at kids. I feel like what they're trying to do is like I think they're trying to grow. I think they're actually trying to get like the old Nintendo fans back, get some new Nintendo fans. I think they're trying to make Nintendo kind of cool again, and I think they're like it's working.
Yeah, I'm super buying into the NX hype right now.
It's not even announced. I'm excited for it, and like
exactly.
And the fact, okay, I'm a little disappointed in Clouds and Smash because like I wanted PlayStation All Stars to be like a cool game, and it just really wasn't. And Cloud and Smash is like, oof, Sony couldn't even get like Cloud, kind of.
Yeah.
But, when Smash comes to NX and it opens up to third parties, Smash is gonna be effing huge. They're gonna get every third party on the planet in a Smash game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like they got the number one PlayStation character in Smash.
Everybody ever, yeah.
And,
I don't know. I do really like. I don't really care about this too much. I'm not super huge into Smash. I haven't bought a single one of these DLC characters, and I will continue that trend. The one thing that did look really cool about this was the stage and just the summons, and that whole Final Fantasy element really seemed to be well integrated into it, and that made me kind of excited.
Yeah, I mean, Smash always takes like really good care of their characters. Who's ever in it, like they're gonna go pretty deep in with that character, and like all of his like limit breaks are in there. His his final smash is the Omni Slash. It just feels weird because like that was Final Fantasy VII is not on Nintendo consoles.
Actually, not at all. I don't think at any point is it.
No, actually, the only game Cloud appears in on a Nintendo console is The Rhythm, like that Rhythm Final Fantasy game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's super weird. But what I think this is just like I've said, this is all sort of like setting up for the NX. I think this is just opening the door. All of these things are just like opening the door. They haven't invited anybody in yet. They're just opening the door. It's like, hey guys, look what we got over here. Look what we got over here. It's coming. It's coming.
Cloud bought Cloud brought chips.
Yeah,
Fox came back.
yeah,
He brought Punch. And so, oh, Link has a girlfriend now.
yeah. It's like they're like taking like little baby steps, but I think what they're doing is they're slowly getting people back. This is just one big marketing plan, which is great because I'll probably get an NX. Like I'm excited for the NX, and it's that they got people excited. You know, they got people going crazy for the NX, and nobody even knows what that stupid thing is.
Yeah, they could announce this and go like, our launch title is Mario Golf 8 and NBA 2K16.
Yeah.
And this. And that's it. And people would still be going like, oh, but you know what's coming. You know. Yeah, right, Nintendo. That's it. Mario Golf. That's all you're giving up. Right.
That's what I think it is. I think they're finally going to actually give people what people have been asking for. Like, everybody's kind of like...
That's the way it's slowly starting to feel.
I'm sorry. What?
That's the way it's starting to feel. If you look at these Nintendo Direct announcements, you've got Zelda on Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Star Fox returning to classic Star Fox. You've got a female Link that people wanted. You've got the Pokemon Classic games that people have wanted to play forever.
Yeah.
You've got a amazingly popular character from a system that has, or from a game that has no connection to you at all in your biggest game. This is their, we're going to start to show off moment.
Yeah, like it's starting to like I feel like these are the things we can show you that we're giving you. I really think that they're going to do that PS4 route. Like, this is for the gamers. Like, this is for the Nintendo fans who've been with us since the beginning. Like, we haven't forgotten about you guys. We know what you guys have been asking for, and here it is. Blah! Everything.
Enjoy.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir. All right. That was kind of fun. We haven't done a normal episode in forever, it feels like. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But we will be back doing normal episodes for the remaining period of forever. So check back next.
Game Awards and stuff is coming up, and PSX.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about those things in between some normal episodes. Next week's basically just gonna be me talking about Battlefront and how great Battlefront is. So get pumped.
I can't wait for you to not like that game.
Oh, I can't either. I probably will hate it. It's gonna be sad, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Yeah. But anyway, follow us on Twitter, Darksliders_pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, etc. And talk to us. Send us a comment. Let us know what you think about the episode or anything at all pertaining to stuff. But we'll see you next week. Bye.
Yes, send us stuff pertaining to stuff. Bye. Damn, that was a long episode.